What if your spouse won't work on your marriage?
We can't do it.
No, that's not what you said.
What did I say? We'll show you how. I'll forget that I gotta sit up like a freak.
Don't say that. Just stop.
You ready?
Yeah. Welcome back to Adore Your Spouse, where marriages get happier. Many of us at some point in our marriages feel this way. I've felt this way. Blaine's probably felt this way. That you feel kind of stuck. Like, I've been trying and I don't feel like they're trying and I don't feel like they care, and maybe you still feel like they love you and the marriage is decent, but they don't really want to work on it. You know, you've said, why don't we do this or why don't we do that? Why don't we read this book, whatever? And they're like, nope, we're good. I'm good. No reason to worry about it. No reason to mess with our marriage. And that's a really frustrating place to be, and you feel really helpless. And honestly, if that goes on for a long period of time, you can get so discouraged that you feel like you want to give up. So I want to tell you something that's very simple that we can always do when we feel stuck and like the situation is out of our control. Viktor Frankl said, if we can't change our circumstances, we are challenged to change ourselves. You can always work on you, regardless of what your spouse wants to do, regardless of whether the marriage is really terrible or the marriage is pretty decent or it's really pretty good. No matter your circumstance that you want it to be better and you feel frustrated that your spouse doesn't want to do anything, you can do something. You always have the power to work on you.
Invariably, when I meet with clients, I mean almost every single time, it seems like they say, my marriage is in trouble, and they may not say it, or sometimes they do say it, or they insinuate that it's their spouse.
Yeah, it's their spouse.
That the problem's because my spouse won't engage, my spouse won't do this, or my spouse does this and does this. And every single time I get involved and we get going on things, every single time there's something that they could do and should be doing, or that they shouldn't be doing, and they need to stop it right now in order for their marriage to prove. So to say that it's all their spouse, honestly, just isn't true. And it's going to keep you in that stuck position because you're waiting for someone else to take action, and it's not going to change things.
So if you feel like you want your marriage to be better and your spouse isn't interested in working on it with you, I think that if you work on it, they'll get to the point where they want to work on it, because that's usually what happens. But even if they don't, let's say you started working on yourself, and because you're 50% of the marriage is getting better because you're a better person. Let's say they never came along for the ride, then guess who wins? You do. You get to live with you every day for the rest of your life, and you get to have all the benefits of all the things that you've done to make yourself a better person and to improve your relationships with other people, because ultimately, so much of what we're talking about when we talk about a marriage is just a relationship. It's just relationship skills. It's how you're relating to others, and that's something we can all continue to work on all of our lives.
Most of the time, maybe even all the time, but the vast majority of the time, my clients, when they start working on themselves, their spouse jumps on.
Yeah.
Eventually they start saying, wow, or holy cow, this is amazing. And they want to reciprocate. They want to get better, because a lot of times they want to get better because they don't want to lose their spouse. They can see their spouse getting stronger and healthier and becoming a better person, and they don't want to lose them, so they start working on themselves.
So if you feel like your circumstances are out of your control, work on you, because that's something you can always do. And this week, assess, what is one thing that your conscience has been telling you that you ought to do for yourself? Should you exercise more? Should you get more sleep? Should you start to get involved in a hobby that you've always been interested in? Should you read a relationship book? Should you understand your spouse's love languages? There's so many things that you could do right now this week to make yourself a better person, and you will reap the benefits all the rest of your life. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe below. Head on over to adoreyourspouse.com for the free assessment in our free class, and remember, you can have the happy marriage that you want. Yes, we complain. We're all kind of complainers, and it's hurting your marriage right now because your spouse doesn't want to hear it. I mean, do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear me complaining? No, he doesn't want to hear it. But guess what? It's hurting you. Because